got a lot of rain last night, and I'm just out here prettifying this chicken tractor. I'm going to put the bantams in here, the old English bantams, because we're kind of having an issue with eggs right now, just trying to figure out what's happening with their eggs. So we're going to separate them and put them in here for a few days so I can get a decent idea of what's going on. So I've set up this. This was on its side for the other chicks, but I think this is better. It protects them better if they want to get under there. That's holding it up. And then they've got this over here that they can go in. That one's not as weatherproof, but I think it'll be fine. It'll give them a nice place to feel like they can hide. So I'm going to put them in there. Hi guys, and then maybe let everybody else out. I've got to go check the weather forecast because it did storm quite a bit last night. Hi babies. Hi Sadie. See that little salmon favorite under there? Isn't she cute? The peafowl are still picking at him. When I was over here getting this set up, I heard one of them squawk and saw it run down this way, and there was a peafowl chasing it. I know, you think you're hot stuff, dude. But we're almost ready to put them in here. Ruben's getting the water ready, and then we're gonna try to catch them, which could be fun. They're not antisocial, unfriendly chickens. They're just really, really zippy. So when you try to catch them, it can be kind of a challenge. I wanted to mention, for those of you who think I'm being a meanie pants and not giving them enough shelter, we've tried the tarp. It does not work. It sits on there and it fills with water when it rains, and then you can see that we have a low spot there where it has stretched out the wire. So the tarp is not working. So this is fine. Chickens are a lot more resilient typically than we give them credit for. They're smart. They'll be okay. I've had chickens that sit out in the rain on purpose. If they want to get out of the rain, there's places to do that, so I'm not super concerned about it. Oh, there's one of them right there. I'm probably not going to film catching them because I'm going to be in there catching them, and this is not a GoPro. Got all three of them in here. They are a little bit grumpy about it. They were not easy to catch. One of the hens specifically took quite a while. Buck was the second one to get caught, and he's just been in here fluffing up and shaking off over and over. He just seems irritated. But once they realize they've got food and water, places to sit, I think they'll chill out. The girls are already taking advantage of all the grass, so they'll be fine. We got chicken wire up all along the entire length here. We happen to have a roll on hand, so I got it put up yesterday. We were going to use this stuff. A lot of it's not in great shape. It's what was in here before, I guess. A lot of it was just kind of in the middle in the weeds when we bought the house. But chickens can easily get their heads through here and eat all kinds of things. So chicken wire for the win, because I don't want them to be able to eat all of the flowers. So I got that in. We got bags of dirt to fill in. I don't know if we're going to mess with it today because it is so wet. Kurt did come in and he cut the grass yesterday after he got this up, but we might wait until Saturday to finish it all up. I'm not really sure. I'm excited. I'm gonna have to go in and look through my flowers. I've got lots of flower seed packets and see exactly what we want to get put in here. Do you see Millie down there? That's one of our mama cats. There is a string down there. I don't know if it's part of an old clothesline, and she is having the best time playing with it. Every single day, Quinoa gets out and goes and does her own thing away from the other ducks. We've started putting a bucket of water out here for her because she's outside so much. Hi, babies. Quinoa, I'm moving out of the way. Go on. We open the door up after she's been out for a while, and she quite often will come in here and fly up on the screen and go back into the duck pen. I think she's only gotten back into the outside pen twice on her own. One time because we were trying to pick her up and she just happened to fly up away from us and managed to go in the pen. I think that's how she did both times, in fact. But this is always how she gets back in. We open the door and she walks in and goes back in like that. So we had kind of a rough week in the losses department. We had a chick who has not been doing well for weeks. And I am kind of ashamed to say that I let it go as long as it did. She had a growth under her arm, and I took pictures and I posted around in some chicken groups that I'm in. Nobody really knew what it was. The assumption was that maybe it was a blood blister and it would go away. It didn't go away. Got worse. But she was growing and developing and getting feathers just like the rest of them. And so I kept putting off a cull because I wanted to give her every chance to be okay. And before you say you should have taken her to a vet, the vets around here, they don't do chickens. If your chicken's sick, they're like, put it out of its misery. So you're kind of on your own. So we let it go longer than I should have because she was still developing, and when I would look at her, she'd be running around with everybody else, eating, growing, and I just could not seem to bring myself to make that decision. And then I was reading something this week that was completely, like, not related to that, but it was about chickens, and somebody said chicks hide pain really well. And that just kind of clicked. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have let her be in pain for weeks. I can't believe I did that. So I asked Kurt if he could cull her for me. I am super sensitive with animals, and I could have culled her if he wasn't willing, but I'm really appreciative that I have a husband who knows how much that would hurt me, and he did it for me. So, sorry, rough week. So we let her go because it was not fair to continue. I mean, there's no way it didn't cause her pain. Looking back, I'm like, wow, that was really selfish of me. Really hard lesson learned. I should have handled it sooner. But, so, we got that handled for her. It's a little bit sad, but I'm really grateful that she's not hurting anymore, and that I put on my big girl panties and got that decided. Then we had one of our kittens die. I wondered about it. It was a runt. It was one of our white cat Millie's kittens. It was one of her gray ones. It was so tiny. It was like half the size of the others. I was kind of concerned about it when I would pick it up and look at it. I didn't handle it a ton because I didn't want to upset the mama. But Nara went out, and it had passed yesterday or the day before. I forget which morning. I think it was day before yesterday, which was upsetting for her. This is our first year with the kids having kittens. Like, I had kittens every year growing up, but this is our first year having them with the kids, and so for her to go out and find that was upsetting. We talked about it. She got lots of hugs. She's okay. It was just kind of shocking, I guess, to see. But the others are doing good. It's nice fat little bellies. So that brings us to our third loss of the week, which was this morning. One of our old English bantam hens, which are my favorite breed of bantam chicken. They might be my favorite breed of chicken overall. I love these girls. We got them in Idaho, and we brought them with us. In fact, one of them was the broody hen that we ended up bringing with her clutch of eggs and the dog carrier in the back of the car because she went broody the week before we moved, and we wanted to try to save them, but unfortunately the move, it was too stressful. It broke her brood, and we lost them. But one of them, I think 2 weeks ago, we noticed that something was going on. She just seemed kind of not awesome, and I caught her and I checked her, and it looked like she had something going on her back end. It looked like maybe it was a prolapse that somehow had gotten a cut. I don't know if Buck, our rooster, accidentally scratched her. But it wasn't looking good. We brought her inside for a few days. I soaked her. It soaked her back end. I tried to clean her up, tried to let her heal, tried to fix it. She was just not looking better. And when I went out this morning to catch them to put in the chicken tractor, I could tell she was not doing well. Her wings were kind of droopy. She just was not doing well, and I checked, and it had actually gotten worse, not better, considerably worse, and I just thought, okay, this is 2 weeks. I have done what I can do. I've done what I know how to do. I've Googled, I've asked, like, I can't do anything else for her. And with as bad as it was, I doubt anyone else could have done something for her. And so I held her for a little bit, and then I asked Kurt to please go take care of that situation, because, again, I could do it if I had to, but honestly, it would be really traumatic for me. And I know, like, lots of you are probably like, well, you need to suck it up. You're not me. I handle a lot of hard things every single day. I really do. And as I said, I could if I had to, but because my husband was willing to do that for me, I don't have to. That's kind of, there's a little bit of a division of chores with the animals. I handle the day-to-day with the kids. We feed them, take care of them. If they're sick, if they're injured, I handle it. I, clean the pasty butt baby chicks in the spring. Like, I handle all of those things. But if I need a shelter or an enclosure or something built for an animal, he handles it. And if we need to dispatch, he handles it. And he does come out and help with other chores sometimes when he can. But he's working a lot of the time when we're doing chores, and so that doesn't always happen. But, so, rough week. Things that, those two, it needed to happen with the chickens. And as sad as I am, that's something that you have to do when you are a caretaker for animals. If you keep animals, you have to be willing to make those decisions and take care of them. I've seen some people get to the point where they will go above and beyond, way past what's good for an animal to keep it alive when the animal is in pain and they're just not willing to dispatch. And I feel bad that that's kind of the situation that I had with the chick. It should have happened a couple of weeks ago and I didn't do it. I just, for some reason, I kept thinking maybe it would get better, and it just became apparent in a moment, really, that wasn't getting better. It wasn't going to get better. I needed to face reality and it came out of a bad situation anyway. The way that we got those chicks, and so it was just kind of a crappy situation. So I feel a lot of guilt that I didn't handle that one sooner. I'm trying to let go of that guilt. I feel guilty for a lot of things, and I tend to hold on to it. But it was a lesson that I needed to learn, and I've learned it. I hope that I don't do that again to another animal. I mean, it's a fine balance sometimes between giving animals the care that they need if they're sick or injured, and knowing when you've done what you can do and it's time to let them go. It's time to put them out of their misery because they're just in pain and they're not okay, and you can't fix it. You can't make it better. And it's not fair to keep putting them through that when it's just selfish. You get to a point where it's just selfish, and that's the point that I hit. It was just selfish for me to keep that chick around, and this morning it became very apparent that the hen was just not getting better. So I feel like I got all kinds of rambling. Sorry. I don't know that it ever gets easier. I guess it would be, but honestly, if it gets too easy, I think I'll get concerned about myself. I don't ever want to, in a cold or calculating manner in any way, pick up an animal and see that it's injured and say, all right, well, this one's going. I don't ever want to hit that point. I always want it to hurt a little bit, honestly. And that sounds weird, but I do. I always want it to hurt a little bit to have to put down an animal because I don't want to lose my compassion for them. I don't want to become desensitized to their plight, basically, because they are a living creature. And I fully believe that God put us here to have dominion over the plants and the animals, and it's our job to do the best that we can with it to the best of our abilities. And that's part of caring for the animals, is you have to make those hard decisions. And you have to put them down when necessary. You have to give them medical care when necessary within what you can handle. Well, I think it started to rain outside, maybe. The house is a disaster area. Hey, Jack. I think I'm going to go let the kids in. The chickens are okay outside for right now. I'm sure I have like a crazy to-do list I should be doing, but honestly, I might go sit on my butt and knit something. Go to my happy place for a little bit. Oh my goodness, I'm tired. It stormed and thunderstormed and lightninged and all those things last night, and I actually get kind of freaked out for storms. So every single time that I'd hear something, I would kind of like jerk awake out of my sleep. So I'm really tired. But I'm hoping that we won't have another storm tonight so I can sleep a little bit better. I forgot to show you guys these super cute eggs. These are actually blown out eggshells that my kids got to paint at a friend's house. When I went to my doctor's appointment, we had a very sweet, somewhat local to us friend volunteer to watch my kids, and she did a super fun craft with them. It's actually Tessa. She's called the Homestead Lady. She's written a couple of books. I will link to her Facebook page. She's pretty awesome and does fun stuff like this that I don't do with my kids. They had a pretty good time and are they cute. I kind of wish they hadn't put it on the palm tree because they kind of maybe broke the the palm tree right there. But they had done it before I came inside. Isn't that cute? Do you guys like your eggs? Yeah? Was it fun? Did you guys paint them or did you dye them?
Dye. And then we painted them with watercolors.